All right, I am live here at the House of Horrors. Thank you very much for everyone who tuned in last week. Well, I'll give it a minute, but if you're watching this replay, I'm just starting this up early here. Not by much time here, just a couple of minutes early. This show tonight, the title is going to change just a little bit. I'm going to have to change it. Unfortunately, Katie, popping the popcorn, isn't feeling well. So hopefully she'll feel better by next week. Next week, though, we will be doing Victoria Page will be joining us. So she'll be on next week. So tonight, instead of School Spirits, the TV show, going to talk TV shows with TV shows and movies, School Spirit. And someone else will be joining us. And here we go, the Cheetah pouncing instead. So how's it going?
Good.
So, thank you for last minute jumping in there.
That's all right. Well, me and Brett, we were just doing our pre-production for our interview with Donald Farmer next week, so he got us at a good time. This is Brett Kelly, the director of Wheezy Shark, as you may recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brett's here. He's got some ideas.
Nice. Oh, Doomsday's Crypt is in the house. How's it going, Joan?
So. Man, great show those guys had yesterday. DK, the big swag. They're chopping it up yesterday.
Didn't they have I forget his name from the Friday the 13th fan films, I think was his
name? Jason Brooks, I think his name was.
Okay. Echo.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Echo.
Echo. Uh-oh. That's right. That was a sensational show yesterday. That was a lot of fun and really good conversation.
Okay. We are talking real quick. Just wanted to say hi. So we all hope you feel better.
I know everybody's looking for Katie, and I'm not Katie. I'm sorry for that, but we'll carry on for Katie.
So yep,
we'll carry on. We'll do our best. What I'm going to try to do while you continue to introduce the show is I'm going to go over and share it out on my community tab so people can come over and hang out with us.
All right. So welcome everybody. And for those of you who joined in last week, thank you very much. Great show. Had a good time. So hopefully same thing tonight. Let's see. Hi. Oh, okay. Echo's saying hi to everybody. Welcome. So let's see. Like I was saying, we won't be talking School Spirits, but we'll be dropping the S and talking School Spirit. So one of the first movies I want to bring up, I don't know, it's sort of newer. It's funny. The Bring It On series, they did a horror Bring It On. So I don't know.
That's right. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was okay. It was interesting for what it was. The ending was kind of weird, didn't make sense, but they actually had a couple of good deaths in there. Some bow and arrow action going on. They like dressed up as the mascot and was hunting them. They broke into this. Well, I think I forget if they got the key from like a family member or something, like this old gym, and it was closed down, the school or gym. And they wanted to practice their routine. And of course, you got the killer on the loose there. So, so some of them actually did become teen spirits there. So it kind of applies. Not the show on Paramount Plus, but almost.
There's a lot of interesting, school's a really good place for horror. I mean, schools have been used, universities have been used, elementary schools. I mean, there's a lot of horror based in school, and I think it's one of the best locations for it too, because you get young cast, you get a lot of creepy stories, you get creepy teachers. In that respect, you look at Harry Potter, and it's like, okay, that was like fantasy, but there was plenty of horror in old Harry Potter. There were some spooky ass moments in there.
Yeah, the Basilisk, the snake in Chamber of Secrets, that was petrifying the students. Yeah.
All right. I am just throwing that out there, and then we'll see what happens. Me and Brett were discussing what kind of food to offer our guest. All right, everybody. Hello. How are you guys? I am here. I just wanted to share that out with you. So we are talking school spirit. Wow. Evil spirits in school. Man, I'm trying to rack my brain right now because there's so many that are going through my mind about
The
how many horrors are based in school.
and even some good books too. R.L. Stein's Fear Street, the new the Evil Saga, another cheerleader where the girl dies, but they don't know she's died, and she fell over one of the graves in the Fear Street Cemetery when the bus crashed, and the evil possesses cheerleaders. There's like I want to say there's like 5 or 6 in the series. So
I have to read some of his books. I know who R.L. Stein is. I know who Christopher Pike is and whatnot.
mhm.
But in all actuality, I have never read any of their books.
Yeah, the fierce. I mean, they're still good up to this day. He's even written a couple adult books. Stein has Red Rain and Superstitious were 2 of his adult books. But the Fear Streets, though, were even they were meant for older teens, but I mean, they were pretty gruesome themselves. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, I was just thinking some of the movies I'm just trying to wrap my head about that I can think about. Probably the most famous school spirit movie I can actually think about is one that everybody will go like, of course. When you think about horror in school, the first movie that comes to my mind is Carrie.
mm-hmm.
First thing comes to my mind. That's the one I remember the most. It's like, yeah, high school wasn't so much fun.
Hey, and not the first school movie that John Travolta did, Grease, after that. So, not a
Oh,
horror, but still, it's kind of funny how he was in.
pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. You can't go wrong with yeah, John Travolta. You can't go wrong with that. And didn't he do another movie based in school? Or maybe he was supposed to be in college or something like that, called Phenomenon or something like that.
I don't think he was in school, but he was. That weird light hit him.
Right, right. Or maybe I'm thinking Powder. I don't know. There's two
Well,
movies where
Powder, yeah, Powder was his mom was struck by lightning, and he was born albino, and he had
right.
like the telekinesis powers and stuff.
Horror comes to many ways in school. I mean, if you really think about it, we're thinking traditional horror, the goblins and boglins and what have you.
Prom night was a good
Prom
one.
night.
Yeah,
But if you think about it, if you think about it, just being in high school
I was.
was a lot of horror. You know,
Yeah.
you got bullies, you got cliques, you got teachers that aren't exactly, they're not attentive. You got schools that have no money, and the buildings themselves become death traps. I mean, it's a really good topic, and there's so many movies that you could talk about. And it's like, again, it crosses the fantasy horror stories we know, like Carrie, but then you got real stories, like Stand By Me, where kids are trying to overcome their long odds. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, okay, not necessarily a horror, scary movie, but in a sense, it is sort of scary because you're thinking that you're watching these people and you're thinking, like just like a horror movie, right? You see
Yeah.
it, you see all the people come in, and you go like, "Oh, that person has no chance. That person's gonna get it. That person's gonna die." And a lot of times they show these schools movies, and you're sitting there looking at all the kids. They're all doing cliches maybe or tropes, but then you look at them and go like, "Yeah, that person's not gonna make it. That person's gonna get hit by a gang. That person's gonna get busted." It's a different type of horror per se, but
Mm-hmm.
in actuality, it's sort of one and the same.
Yeah.
um it's a microcosm of our society. What's going on in our society. That person's the leader, that person's the follower, that person's has all the money, that person's poor, that person's going to be having 10 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we all look at horror movies in a way like that, though? When we watch a movie, we sit there and immediately start thinking, okay, who's going to get it first, who's going to
Yep.
die first, or how are they going to kill that person or whatever. And it's sort of the same way. I mean, it might be a stretch, but I don't know. I mean, but if you want to just traditionally go just blood and guts and gore, Carrie would be my first pick. That would be the one I remember the most.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Yeah, they're dirty pillows. Uh, of course, we talked about Carrie to Death, so we know about it. We all know about it. We know the sequels.
Yeah.
They made two sequels, right? They made two. They made one with Carrie with Chloe Moretz.
Yeah, I think that was like more of like a remake or reboot or remake, I should say. There was the Rage Carrie 2, and then they also did like a television version of Carrie. They did a couple different ones. Basically the same story, just told a little different way.
Carrie the Rage. Were you? Did you? Have you seen that yet?
It's been a long time, but I remember seeing it.
I watched that movie. I was shocked. When they killed. Oh well, yes. There's going to be spoilers here, kids.
Well, that's movie's old enough, so.
Well, they killed Amy Irving's character.
Mm-hmm.
Killed her. It's like, damn. You didn't expect that to happen. It's like, okay. I was thinking about another movie that has two young kids in school. They're being chased. A movie called The Fury
Mm-hmm.
with Andrew Stevens and I want to say it was George C. Scott. Was it George C. Scott in that one? I don't want to say it was. I want to say it was somebody else. Maybe Kirk Douglas. I don't. Let me go ahead and look that up.
Nightmare.
That's
Yes.
a great movie.
Nightmare on Elm Street, someone said in the group. Don't forget, if you are dual watching on Facebook, just click on it to give permission if you want us to know who it is.
Okay, so that. Oh yes, okay, I was right. It was Kirk Douglas.
Okay.
Kirk Douglas. He played the grandfather, and ironically enough, none other than Amy Irving played the daughter. Andrew Stevens played the son, and Amy Irving was the daughter. And they were chasing after him. They were chasing after him, after them because they had special abilities. I do believe that John Cassavetes. John Cassavetes, he played the main bad guy, and yeah, that was another school-based horror film. That was another effective one. There's been a lot of them. Now that you got me thinking about it,
There's so many.
not necessarily a horror movie, but one that really had a lot of fun to it. Uh, because are we just doing strictly horror? Can we?
We can do it. We can do anything school wise that you want to do. Oh, okay. I see who was in here. Friend of mine, Gene. He wrote the comment. Great movie. So yeah, he's watching on Facebook. It looks like.
I tell you one of my favorite. Okay, since we get to expand this a little bit and bring some fanboy stuff into it, some of one of my favorite movies, and as a Disney movie at that, is none other than
High School Musical.
Sky High.
Oh yes, Sky High. Mm-hmm.
That movie is bonkers fun, and it launched so many people. It launched a lot of people. Like Carrie launched Carrie Spacek, Sissy Spacek, right? So that movie launched her career. It helped John Travolta, even though John Travolta had just started doing. I do believe he had just come off his first season of Welcome Back, Kotter. I think.
Probably.
Maybe, I think. I'm gonna make sure this is the real guy because this could be an imposter looking for me. Let me check. Let me throw out the password.
Oh, there's a code word.
It's code word. Got to make sure it's really him. You got to keep a sharp eye on this guy here. Let's see.
But yeah, that Sky High. I was gonna say Danielle Panabaker was in that, and she's on The Flash, of course.
Right. And of course, the Panabaker sisters themselves have done a lot of horror stuff as well. I want to say
she was in the Friday the 13th, also the remake.
Yep, she was in Friday the 13th remake, and then she also did. She's done a lot of episodic TV too. She did a really great episode of Grimm that I really like a lot.
Oh, which one? Which episode of Grimm was she? I remember.
It was in the first season. She played the fire eater.
Okay.
Remember, her and her dad were in that creepy ass little yard, and he would bring her metal to eat.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah. Grimm was really good.
Really cool episode of that. Yeah, there's a lot of actors that get that that have done a lot of us. That get typed into that school. I mean, like when the Flash started, I want to say those guys when they first started. Uh, at the Flash, I want to say that uh, Killer Frost and Vibe were still in college when they met Barry Allen.
Mhm.
And so there you go. You get that aspect of it. They bring into the school aspect of it into the Flash. I think they were at college the first year. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think of some other movies that have really just got me going. Um,
Disturbing Behavior was a good one with Katie Holmes. Or
right,
yeah, it was
right.
Katie Holmes was in it, I believe. Yeah.
I believe you're right. Yes.
Hmm.
Let's see. That also had the faculty had Elijah Wood, wasn't it?
Yeah, Faculty had Elijah Wood. And I think
The Civic Behavior had James Marsden, I think, from the X-Men.
yes, he was in it.
I'm not looking into this up either, by the way. I'm just bringing that up from memory.
Oh yeah.
So right. That's Isn't it something after when you have so much pressure, all of a sudden it's like, okay, okay, what do I remember? What do I remember? I remember that too because I didn't get to see just disturbing behavior. I never got to see that, but I did get to see the faculty, and I really liked that a lot. I thought that was really good.
Mhm.
Um, Another movie that was set at a
Yeah,
university.
and the football coach in it was in T2. He was the T 2000 or whatever.
Oh,
Robert
right.
Patrick.
Oh God, You know what's really funny? It's funny because I'm always thinking Robert Patrick, as being he does a lot of these dramas, a lot of these action movies and what have you. But he has done a lot of straight horror films.
Mhm.
Um, I just recently caught him in two, and I'm going like, holy cow, man! I did not really realize that just how many horror movies that he has popped up in. Um, I watched him at Eloise, and then one which featured a bunch of young people in college age young people, and that was Autopsy.
Yep. Oh, don't forget he was also in I want to say season 8 of the X Files when Mulder was abducted and gone for a while.
Yeah. Okay, so that's slightly off topic. Slightly off topic.
That's
I,
fine.
I did you like him and Annabeth Gish as the two agents?
It was different. I was like, it's new. I mean, it wasn't no Mulder and Scully, but I mean, it,
I thought he was really good in that.
so I mean, he was good. It was just weird all of a sudden how we had new agents, but
Right. I know a lot of people initially hated that, but I actually dug it.
yeah, and they were still good episodes. At least it's not like they changed and they totally sucked and ruined the show. They still continued the show.
Oh
So I
no, they
mean,
still did the show. I
yeah.
still thought it was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely do. I'm just trying to think of some other movies that have got my eye. One I remember because it took forever for it to happen. Um, and that was Jennifer's Body.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yep.
That was based in high school. Man, that movie took forever to get released, Steven. Man, because I don't know if you remember the old Fangoria magazines, but one of the cool things about Fangoria was at the end of the magazine or beginning of the magazine, right underneath the editorial section, and they would have what's coming up, what's being released in for horror movies.
Hmm.
Um, and there were two movies that stayed on that list forever and a day. Every month you open it. Okay, yeah, open it. Oh, yeah. One was the Tuskegee tapes. That thing was
Oh,
there for years, years. I must
oh,
have,
that was a good movie. I forgot about.
in fact, it still had not been released by the time I read my last Fangoria at the bookstore. It still had not been released.
Wow.
And the other one was Jennifer's Body.
Mm.
Man, every month, Jennifer's Body, Jennifer's Body. When's that thing going to get released? But when it did, fun,
Mm.
interesting.
Gene, Gene said Slaughter High. That was a good one.
Uh, okay, Slaughter High. All right,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Of course, we can go to April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day. Yeah.
That was our. I'm going to name drop here, so I'm gonna name drop that Christy Adams from Nightmare Toys said that's her favorite movie. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. Oh, welcome in, Patricia. Glad you are here.
Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Wow, all the way from England.
I was gonna say that's what probably almost midnight there, 5 hours ahead or
5 hours,
something.
and she came over to hear us.
Thank you.
Wow, we're quite honored. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Appreciate that very much. Um, and we did talk a little bit about English horror. Being Harry Potter.
Yeah, we did bring that up.
Yeah, we have to bring that up. We have to bring up, another movie we have to talk about too. That was extreme horror. It wasn't necessarily based in schools necessarily, but teenagers,
Mhm.
and that was a movie that I saw recently, and that was Martyrs. Uh,
Okay.
that was two young high school girls. They were in a foster care, uh,
Hmm.
and then they came out. They came out for revenge, and you see them take the revenge on. One girl thinks it's a family that has tortured her, and her friend's not quite so sure. And then we find out that her first friend was absolutely 100% right. Uh, um, so that's another one. I'm trying to think of some really good movies with the high school, with the kids being both the victims and the antagonists.
Hmm.
Uh, obviously, I dare say it. Do I have to say this? Of course, I have to say this, right? So we have to talk about Scream because that was set in high school.
And
The first,
college.
yeah,
And
yeah,
college. Yeah.
and college. So there's the first two. I mean, they
Yeah.
talk about all the cliches and the victims, the typical victims. Back when it was sort of a really funny thing. It's like it's like we're here to poke fun of all the cliches that horror movies do.
Hmm.
But it worked. It worked.
Hmm.
Um, it worked a little too well for the first one. It definitely did that. Um, Let me ask you this question, and I'll ask this to the chat here too. So, do you think that we have gone too far now? I mean, before, we did high school victims and whatnot, and that happens. But it does seem recently that we seem to be getting a little younger in our victims. Like now, it used to be you never really saw any kids get it. I mean, when you did, it was a shock. It was disturbing. I mean, you walked out of the theater and you're going like, yeah, that really was really creepy and freaky and edgy. Um, do you think that we've gotten a little? Do you think we've gotten a little bit gone too little too far and having young kids being counted the victims? Should there be some sort of unspoken age limit that horror movies should stay away from?
Well, obviously, like you said, they do it as like a shock value, but it's also, I mean, part of life too. I mean, anyone can be a victim regardless of age. So, I mean, I guess they're just putting in because I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, unfortunately, even in life, they're young victims, you know. So, I mean, there isn't really an age limit, I don't think, in my opinion, though they do it for the shock value.
Yeah, I guess if there's a story behind it, awesome. But sometimes you just feel like I don't know, it feels a little bit exploitative. Like we can get away
Mhm.
with it now, and I
Right.
you just worry that like in a lot of our horror movies now, we become desensitized to the violence. When we're sitting there and we see Art the Clown chop somebody in half. We're looking at that with whoa, wow, that's awesome. Where we should be looking at it going like, what the fuck am I looking at? That's what we should be saying. Uh, uh
It's both. It's what the fuck am I watching, but also
yeah,
entertaining.
it's
But
like
it's
what?
oddly entertaining at the same time. I
I
mean,
think
as long as you can separate fictional from reality and not, be desensitized by it.
I think we could try. I think we could find a true horror fan. Actually, if we go inside your house, we could tell you're like a horror fan, you're not really spooked by it, or
Right.
you are spooked by it. When we go inside your house, hey Kevin, all right. Uh, um, if you go inside somebody's house, right, and sit in their big old cushion easy chair, and
Hmm.
you put your hands down. If you don't feel fingerprints imprinted into the furniture, or if you do feel indentations in the furniture, you've got inside of a house of a horror fan that still can be spooked. But if you walk in there and the furniture is fine and there's no scratches, there's no like claw marks into the arms of the chair.
Right.
They, or, so what will we see if we walked inside Steven's house? Would we see a chair with claw marks in it, or would we just see like just a chill chair?
Chill. Whenever there's a kill, I'm chill.
See, Patricia mentions this needs some thinking. Uh, should maybe sometimes it's better to go back a little and take notice of the older horrors. Yeah, yeah, you know what? That's a really interesting aspect too, because that's what you do. You go back to some of the older horrors, like Patricia mentioned. Like I'm just thinking like the first time I saw a kid die in a horror movie. I think it was Night of the Living Dead. Actually, I think that was it. The little girl there. I'm actually trying to think of that was like that happened to anybody under 12, and I really can't think of it too much. Maybe the Bad Seed. Uh, maybe I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
But in the 70s, I think the 70s started to tilt it just a wee bit, but not a lot of kids' death in the 70s. A little bit. We had Damien from The Omen. That was Then we had Linda Blair from The Exorcist.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to rack my brains now about if there was, we had possession movies left and right
Yeah.
in the 70s. We had Julia behind the door. Oh, behind the green door. I don't know. It was with Juliet Mills. I'm trying to think of. There was a lot of possession films that came out after The Exorcist.
Gene was saying Frankenstein. A kid died in that.
Oh, that's right. Way back then, yes. But it was more of an accident than it was straight out murder. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was. He didn't mean to kill her. Uh, and but yeah, that might have been the earliest. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, as far as portraying a child dying. Um, yeah, that's interesting. So schools. What about schools with some not so friendly staff members? There was a crime. There was a movie called The Substitute. It was more of an action movie.
Oh, that, yeah.
But- Yeah, but it was about a school that got taken over by teachers and a gang of thugs. And they were
Was
terrible.
that Treat Williams, or he was in the second one?
Altree Williams.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was Treat Williams. Okay, yeah.
No, I take it back. Tom Berenger was like he was in the first one.
Okay, but Treat Williams was in another one, or so they did like a
Right.
couple of them.
I think Tom Berenger was in the first one, and then I think Treat Williams took over after that. But
Okay, you're right.
everybody at that school was being terrorized.
Hmm.
There you go, terror. They were being terrorized by the staff and the gang that was roaming around the school, causing pain for everybody. Um, let's see some other. Of course, you had TV shows like Buffy.
I was gonna bring that up when you were done with that. You took Buffy right from me. How dare you?
I oh
It's on a
I
hell
took,
now.
I, oh shit! I took his thunder. That's it. That's it. I'm out of
I
here.
mean, come
That's
on,
it.
come on. I got a face tribal tattoo here. Come on.
Me and Brad, we fucked up.
Yeah, you did.
Uh,
Goodbye. No.
bye. So yeah, of course he had Buffy.
And there
And
was
then
like, if you want to speak of the faculty on it, and they had a substitute teacher in the first season who was a praying mantis woman that kidnapped Xander and the boys, and
right,
wanted to mate with them.
um, you had Smallville. They had the weirdo of the week for the first couple of seasons, and always show Clark dealing with some sort of meteorite type mutation. A lot of it had to do with the high school,
Yeah.
like the football coach and the teachers and the different students that were coming out.
Even
Uh,
even the janitor, Tony Todd was in it. He was the one that the Jitters episode.
um, yeah, so you got yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of myself. I'm trying to think of which uh does Matilda count?
It was at a school, and she was a mean teacher. So yeah,
Uh, yeah, I remember I've seen Buffy. That was a lot of horror. Um, let's see.
yeah, yeah, vampires, demons,
Yep.
monsters, all.
You had the 100, the science fiction one, where after it's set in a dystopian future where the planet was ravaged,
Yep,
and they came back to it, and they had to put on 100 kids basically
yep.
survive. That like, okay, here we're not going to sacrifice ourselves, so
Let's
the
just
way.
send the kids out.
Yeah, you fucked up on the space planet here and the satellite. We're sending you down to Earth and see if you can live or not. Um, that would be very scary.
Yeah.
Imagine going down there and being, you don't know what's down there. You know nothing about it. You don't and as soon as you get down there, and of course we're speaking about horror. Well, and there is a classic story we could talk about. Um, Sort of like the based on the 100 here. In fact, there's another series that is tied to that as well. So the premise of the 100 is they have to live on the planet. Not only are you fighting the planet yourself, right? You don't know you don't know what's down there. You don't know what could kill you. As far as you know, anything that you touch could kill you. Anything
Right.
you eat could kill you. You don't know what's up in the tree above you. What looked like a really cute little fluffy squirrel could be just the most savage thing on the planet.
Well,
And
there
then
was
you
the
have
deer that was messed up. Like they see a deer and you start to go up, and then it's got like two faces or just like
right,
mutated.
very much like Resident Evil,
Yeah.
uh, which with their different mutations. Um, and then you had the horror of trying to deal and trying to work as a society,
Who's
and
in charge and laws
right,
and
and
mhm.
that we saw the different cliques go their own separate ways. Now, the next movie I'll mention, there's two. The one is called Yellow Jackets.
Mhm.
That came out on Showtime, I believe.
Yeah, I think they're on their second season now. I guess I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it's a good show.
It's about these high school girls, the soccer team. They were, I mean, I guess in of itself, it was based off a movie or a book called Alive,
Mhm.
where a soccer team in South America, Argentinian team, crashed, or Ecuadorian team or whatnot. They crashed into the Andes, and they basically survived by eating the dead.
Mhm.
They had to eat their dead friends and the crew and everything else. They were cannibals. They had to revert to cannibalism, and I think they have done that with the Yellow Jackets to where they've shown that aspect of it. But the movie I was thinking about, or the book I was thinking about, that the movie came from was the Lord of
Lord
Flies.
of the Flies. I was going to say, yep, Lord of the Flies.
Yeah. So now that's a terrifying story right there.
Mm-hmm.
The movie, and the book, and the way the movie ended was just like, I mean, I don't know if anybody knows the story of the Lord of the Flies. They made a movie out of it. I think Jeff Bridges was on it, and I believe he played the captain of the ship, and he took a crew of young boys, and they were going to sail the boat from point A to point B, and a storm came up, and it caused it. Think of it as Gilligan's Island on steroids.
Yeah, it's just not as fun.
Yeah, and no Ginger or Marianne.
Yeah.
Um, and so they get hit. All these schoolboys, they get hit. On the island. They go to the island, and then it doesn't take very long for them to break down.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of scary, because it actually feels that way. Like today, could you imagine that today, if let's say 50 kids were on a boat and they crashed into an island with how we are today? How many people how many people do you think would actually survive if they did the Lord of the Flies and put it in today's world?
It'd be chaos. There might be less than a handful probably out of the 50.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
I
it would be the true survivor.
yeah, yeah. It would be yeah. There'd be no tribe. There'd be no idol or nothing like that.
Yeah,
You know, when you get voted off, when you get voted out of the tribe, that means
you're
you're voted out.
you're permanently voted out. Yeah.
Right. And see, now we're getting warmed up. Now I'm actually starting to think about movies with school kids and shit like that, and I'm getting more
Mhm.
and more here. Um, yes. Let's see. Yeah, they may. Yeah. Well, you know what? Okay. So, what do you think the odds are in actuality? I mean, a slightly different topic, but I'll bring it up anyway. What do you think the odds are that the Lord of the Flies will be making it through a middle school in today's world? What do
I
you?
don't
What
know
do
if
you?
I don't know if
What
they've
do you, what
banned
do you
that or not. I mean, I've heard of people trying to ban certain books, so I don't know if that one has or
Yeah,
not.
I would be very interested in seeing the Lord of the Flies actually made it through. I don't know if it did or not, but yeah, I read that in middle school too.
Mhm.
Um, the movie, they did a really good job with the movie, and it was it's
I
very
think you even
disturbing.
watched the movie too. We had to get no. I think what it was, you had to have a permission slip to watch it or whatever. But we did watch it.
Um, yeah, I mean, think about how terrifying that would be on an island, and here you are before you're with your friends and everything else. You're thinking you're a crew, you know, you're bonded and everything else, and then the first time to trouble, and I guess that's what's really scary about when you see about school horror, or you know, where you see about like you know they portray a outbreak or an illness or a zombie outbreak or anything like that. It's amazing to see how fast society breaks down.
Hmm.
Dawn of the Dead, the remake Dawn of the Dead. I mean, the night before, everything was fine. Everybody went to bed. Everybody was happy. The next morning, it was absolutely 100% chaos.
Yeah,
No organization. No nothing. No nothing. Um, Sometimes I think they use zombies in place of an epidemic or a nuclear war. Like I think they use zombies as a symbol of that. Like you know, like oh my god, it's a zombie. Okay, we know that will never happen, but an epidemic can, and so can nuclear war. And so they use the zombies as to take the place of that. Like okay, here's what we're gonna do. It's sort of scary to see how fast it breaks down.
hmm,
Um, Same thing with the Lord of the Flies. I mean, it was like first they're on the boat, they're sailing, everything's good. They crash. They initially are together, and then almost immediately they start splintering off and making rules and throwing clicks down and you know, and then people start getting killed for real. You know,
hmm.
it's not just like you know you stay over there, I'll stay over here. They start hunting each other down and killing each other. You know, the last boy, he's running for his life, and he comes out of the jungle, and there's a soldier. You know, they landed. You know, it wasn't they weren't as isolated as they thought they were. Um, and yet, yeah, I mean, how what does it say to us about a society when we let something like that happen?
Mm.
Um,
That's
it does seem like we are more and more isolated um, than ever before. You know, the lack of human contact. Uh, was this maybe a reason why we have a lot of? I mean,
hmm.
we got to be honest, right? If we're talking horror films, we got to really talk to horror films here. But if you
Yeah.
think about it, you got to think about it. It's like you know, it's one of the reasons why we have a lot of violence in our schools. You know, because the kids there are I don't know. I mean, their lives are horror. You know, for some kids, their life are is a horror show. Um,
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know. It's not a preachy show by all means. We're going to have fun. We're having fun with this, but
Yes.
but
So, what are
you think
some of
about
the people in the chat? Some of your favorite schools? Oh, Bad Kids Go to Hell is a good one. They're
yeah.
very good attention. Hmm.
I tell you a show I really enjoyed watching. I wish I would have got the whole series. I didn't get the whole series, but I did get the first three or four. And that was Riverside. I thought they did a really nice job with that.
You mean Riverdale? Oh, I think you accidentally clicked out here. Let's see. Okay. Hello?
Yeah.
I think you accidentally clicked out there, but there you go.
Oh, did I click out? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Okay.
I was saying you meant Riverdale.
Yeah, Riverdale.
Mhm. That's
When I heard about that, when I heard they were going to be doing a Riverdale, I was wondering how are they going to do this. Is this going to be like a One Tree Hill? This is going to be like Beverly Hills 90210. It didn't. It actually addressed, and actually there was a nice element of horror,
mhm.
uh, of weirdness, of strangeness, which I actually really enjoyed. I thought they did a really nice job of blending, um, blending a little bit of the Buffy, not too much, but just enough of the Buffy type of horror to it, along with the everyday cliquish thing you see at any high school.
Yep.
Um, I thought they did a nice job with that. I thought it was pretty representative.
I'm behind on it. I started watching it for people who, I mean, I won't spoil too much, but I left off on Archie's trial is like the last episode that I watched, so I got to catch up on them. But I heard that they did a crossover with Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Riverdale. Oh, my lights just flickered. I don't know if my power is going to go out. It's storming out right. Oh, as I said that, my light just flickered. I don't know with the
Uh-oh.
green. I don't know if you could tell with the green screen. Oh yeah, the power went off and then back on. My TV just shut off and on.
Ooh, uh-oh. But are you sure that's really what it is?
No, the
Are you sure it's a storm? Are you sure it's not a demon after you?
I was gonna say, talking about all this horror stuff, it's manifested. Oh shit!
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You better look that. You know what?
Hmm.
Are you feeling pains in your joints, or does it feel like you're being stabbed?
Uh, I don't know. I just ripped out that screen.
You
Um,
could, there could be someone. There could be someone that's doing a spell on.
yeah. Wolfpack is good.
Steven goes, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let's not. Ow! Ow! I keep feeling some pricks on my.
Uh-huh.
Someone's
Well,
got a
hey, hey,
glitter
hey,
doll
hey,
on me.
hey, when it feels like a shark is biting your ass, you'll know for sure what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Right. A Ouija shark ghost biting my
No,
ass.
no, the Ouija shark is. This is not the shark that I was thinking about. Uh,
Oh,
uh,
gotcha.
uh-huh. You better be careful.
uh,
Mhm. Remember that
uh,
movie? Remember that movie, Bad CGI Sharks? Um, Patricia asked us, do you think a Hitchcock film like The Birds with a modern twist would work? Yes. Yeah,
I would like to see that. Yeah.
yes. I think it could work definitely.
You know what
Um,
would be funny with that? Have some parrots, some talking parrots die, like
but they
some
would
like
have to, set it in the time frame of the
mm,
story. I don't think it will work in a modern time. I think if you took it back to like World War II, where it was supposed to be at, I think it would work. I think it would, I mean, because the book itself, the novella by Daphne du Maurier, that's a scary ass novella. Let me tell you, that's a disturbing book.
hmm.
That's a really good. Yeah, it's one of those that they did a nice job with the movie, but the novella is way scarier, way scarier. It's very spooky. Uh, but if they did it in like in Great Britain during World War II, if they remade it, then yes, I think Lifeboat would
Well,
actually
they
work.
could do something with like the carrier pigeons turning on them.
Oh, every bird turned on them. I mean,
Oh, every bird, yeah.
yeah. It was, yeah. I don't know if you ever read the novella of the birds, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. Um, yeah, I just don't think it would work in today because I don't know why. I just think that it's just too many modern defenses today. I mean, if 50,000 birds flew over us, you could stop 50,000 birds.
Yeah.
You could. It wouldn't be, you would actually win. You could actually beat the birds. So
Yeah.
you could set up a wall of lead or anything else. It's just sonics. But World War II, where the story is taking place, no, you couldn't, and that's what made it really effective. So yeah, I think that if they went back to World War II, then yes, the remake could work really well. See what other movies with school kids that I could talk about that
Since
would.
Wolfpack was brought up, it was both the movie and TV show Teen Wolf. So
Oh,
of course
right, right.
of course the original movie Michael J. Fox and I
Jason
can't
Bateman.
Mark. I forget his last name. Mark, who was his friend Chubbs, who was also in Leprechaun. He was in that movie with him. And then, of course, we got the TV show with Tyler Posey.
You
So
can't forget the Jason Bateman one, Teen Wolf 2.
and Teen Wolf 2, of course. Yes. we yeah.
Um,
And of course,
I,
they got their montage in Teen Wolf 2 when he's
um,
studying. Gotta love those
what,
montages.
it's funny. Okay, so like, I'm probably gonna get jumped here and everything else, but man, when I first watched Teen Wolf, it was cute. It really was. It was really, really cute. But man, I saw that not that long ago, and I just, I don't know what it was. I'm like, I love Michael J. Fox and everything else, but man, that movie just didn't. It was way cheesy. It was the super cheese. I'm just sitting there going like, we actually watched that.
I haven't watched it in a while. I mean, I remember
Hmm.
liking it though. I can still
I liked it too, but trying to watch it now, and you look like, oh, thank God I'm a lot more sophisticated, as far as my viewing habits go, because to sit there and say, yeah, Teen Wolf. I mean, I think the drama is is really good. And they got fanatical fans, that's for damn Skippy. Um,
see, yeah, Village of the Dam. I mean, not school, but yeah, creepy kids. Mhm.
yeah, they did a remake of that too. I heard they're trying to do yet another remake of that. I heard rumblings about that.
Another one? Wow.
Uh, uh, I think what it is, I think people try to do that when there's an advance of technology. Some movies like that would benefit from the advance of technology. I think
Mhm.
they get a chance to get remade again because of that. Like, could we do the birds? Well, yeah. Look at all the tech we could do. I mean, when you look at it, you look at the birds now. It's
Mhm.
hard to watch. It's hard to watch because the birds look so fake.
Yeah.
They just do. They just look fake.
Mhm.
Um, Not their fault. They did the best what they did. They did the best what they could with what they did. But
Right.
imagine them trying to make a movie of the birds today, a set back then. It would be really cool. It would definitely be eye catching.
Yeah. For
Um, well, yeah, Village of the Damned. Of course, another movie, a famous movie. Stephen King has a lot of these movies actually, if you think about it. But you
mhm.
had Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Uh, 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 and the classic Star Trek series. They had an episode called Miri,
Mhm.
and that is where all the kids could only reach to a certain age, and then they would die. They would go crazy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they would go crazy, and then the young kids would kill the adults. The adults would go crazy, and then they would have to kill the adults.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
hey, Rob, how are you, sir?
Rob's
How are
vintage
you?
video. Yep.
Right, all right. Don't forget to hit the like button. That help the channel. And consider dropping a comment. Let's see. All right,
Yep.
Steven,
Yeah, I
you're on
stopped
the
by. He
road.
was doing an unboxing. Yeah. So I stopped by before the show. I had like about 20 minutes, half hour. So had some
Nice.
cool unboxing stuff over there. So yep.
What did you get, Rob? I didn't see it yet, but what did he get? Did he get any ISC movies?
Unless he got any after I left or before I got there. I know one of them was Insomnia because I think we brought that up the other night. So
Right.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So
Insomnia. You got Insomnia?
oh,
Wow.
and
That's so.
Mosquito too. I was saying how they've never seen Mosquito. I was like, the Gunnar Hansen part was great.
Wow. That's so cool. That's so cool. If you got Insomnia, Insomnia is an amazing movie. That's one of Al Pacino's best movies, and that movie.
I think he said it was a duplicate though. It was like a mystery box, I believe. So,
Okay, but he got it right.
but yeah, they still got it. Yeah. So either way, it's a great
Yeah.
movie.
Either way, and there you go. We walk right into another high school movie. High school kids. That was the key to the story.
Mhm,
A young high school student gets murdered,
mhm.
and think about this too. Wow, what a great segue. So Insomnia. If you guys haven't heard about that movie, you've seen Insomnia before, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, whew, uh, oh my gosh. So Rob said he did get insomnia. Wow, wait till you see it, man. I can't wait for your review. Insomnia is an amazing movie.
I'll have to watch
Yeah.
it again. It's been a while since I've watched it. I think when I watched it, it might have been on VHS.
Uh, okay. See, he says it was a box of my buddy's father's collection.
Oh, okay. I
Oh,
didn't. Yeah, I
oh,
missed
so
the beginning of the video. So, but okay.
okay, he recently passed away. Oh, wow. Yeah, my buddy did the same to me, Rob. My friend Jerome, my buddy Catfish. He when he passed away, he left me all his movies too. Um, yeah. What a very generous gift. What a very generous thing to do. Wow. I can't wait for you to watch it and review it. I look forward to that. In fact, so much so that I'm not gonna we're gonna just we'll just move on because I don't if we talk about it we'll go into spoilers and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So but I'm just gonna say Insomnia is a terrific and believe me it's a horror film. It's a mystery, but there's some horror in that movie. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. That I can relate to Al Pacino's character quite a bit actually.
Welcome, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie Hart. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Something's missing. Jamie, something's missing. When Jamie came in, there's something missing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Something was missing.
Yeah. I got it. I got it.
Oh, okay.
That's what's missing. Yeah. Whenever I see Jamie, that's the first thing I look for. Is I always see the purple heart behind her.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And now she put a real heart in. And hopefully your head is not swimming today. Because she had a bad remember her head was swimming on Thursday.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
oh, speaking of horror shows, so I did feel the wrath of the Hobbs. By the way, did feel the wrath of the Hobbs.
For the midnight K hour.
Yeah, I did hear from the Hobbs. We had a we had. I didn't know this. I really thought we thought he was Caspering. He really was asleep. I
Okay.
I want to take this time right now to sit there and say I apologize for that. I don't know why. I really did. I really thought he was Caspering this. I thought, well, he doesn't want to take. He doesn't want to be involved. He's tired and whatnot. But I thought he was Caspering us, but he really was trying to sleep. And I do apologize for like because Carrie went over there and was talking about the spectacular. I really did not know that. I would not have done that. I was
Oh,
wrong. I was wrong. So,
whoopsie.
whoop. Uh-oh, I better be careful going around the schools in my neighborhood. You never know you might meet a mad spectacular Hobbs.
Mm.
Um, so I'm trying to think of some other horror movies that are based in school.
Final exam.
Final Exam, of course. You said Prom Night.
Mhm.
Uh,
There's a
uh,
Wild Eye movie, Murder University, or Murder You, whatever. I think they changed the title on Tubi, but let's see.
I'm just trying to think of I'm trying to think of all the horror movies that the Wild Eye has set in schools. That could actually be a lot. Was it Young Frankenstein? That was an interesting little movie.
Mhm.
It was
Oh,
more
Jamie said,
comedy.
"Oh, that's right, Graduation Day." Jamie said,
Yeah, Graduation Day. Let's see.
"I'm gonna have to skim through the 370 titles of Wild Eye on Tubi. I know there's probably got to be another. Oh, Triggered.
Oh, of course.
Hello,
Yeah,
Triggered.
we can't go through the stream without talking about Trigger. Holy shit! No way.
Oh,
Um, I got some more. I got there's we're talking all horror, all the all levels, high school, university, college, university, elementary school. So there are yes, the loved ones.
mhm.
Man, I have been trying hard as hell to get Robin McCleary to come over and talk to us. I've
Oh, from
not
the
been
loved
able.
ones.
Yeah,
Actually, I think I even sent her a message before.
yeah,
'Cause that's a great movie. Like I would.
yeah. She's a terrific actress too. Kevin mentioned, of course, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. You got Friday the 13th.
Oh, 3 o'clock
Scream.
high. I mean, not too much horror, but still, it's a. Was that the one where he was getting a fight with that bully in the afternoon after school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was. You know, I think I want to say it was Kevin
No, wait,
Dillon.
wasn't there something like 12 o'clock? Or there was some movie I remember seeing it like
He
when
made,
the
he made it.
W.
There was the first one with two kids, and it was Kevin Dillon. I want to say it was the bully, and then I forgot who the young boy's name was, and they were gonna fight.
Okay, yeah.
Then they remade it as a comedy called Fist Fight, and it was with Charlie Day and Ice Cube. They're teachers, and they were gonna fight at the end of the school.
Oh,
Uh,
the teacher. Yeah, yeah, I remember that now.
oh, yep, My Bodyguard. That's a great movie too.
Oh yeah.
Christopher Makepeace,
I
who starred earlier in Meatballs, not a horror movie, but an excellent movie about growing up.
mhm.
Yeah, 3 o'clock high is great. That's a sheesh. That used to be a regular. They used to be on my our cable channel all
I was
the.
gonna say, was it when Fox did movies or something? I think it was. I think it was either USA. Oh, mute that. But yeah, I forget what movie channel it was, but on the cable, like they always showed it, like afternoon movies or something. That was one of them. I remember.
Yeah, that is an awesome movie. So is My Bodyguard. That had Adam Baldwin
Adam
in it.
Baldwin. Yep.
Yeah, that was him, and that was I want to say that was Matt Dillon. Was it Matt Dillon or Ethan Hawke that played the bully?
Mm, I can't remember who the bully was now.
I know it was Christopher Makepeace that was the kid that got bullied. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a really good movie too. Again, that kid was terrorized. You know, he couldn't do anytime he went to school. Could you imagine how hard that is? I mean, I never, we all. I mean, for the most part, I dare say that we've all have been bullied at some point in our school time. I don't know anybody that just walked onto school grounds and was cool as hell, throughout their whole high school. I mean, we all had their bumps and bruises. Um, Mine, for me, it was my freshman year was probably the worst year I had. But they didn't last for very long as far as being bullied. Um,
Mhm.
a lot of times bully is just, they're trying to. I think a lot of times bullies are. I think a lot of times bullies act out because they don't want them. They themselves are afraid of being bullied. It's like I'm going to do it to you first before anybody does it to me. You
Yeah.
know, I don't really see or sense anybody just coming to school and just having a raging hard on against society at 14 or 15. Um, I just don't, even if they had their hard times in junior high or whatnot. I mean, maybe that's naive, but it's just what I've observed. But I'm just saying how terrorizing it is for some kids to get up in the morning and, like, okay, it's time for school. I mean, to me, the first sign of a kid's trouble, he's having trouble at school. The first sign is when he doesn't get up for school. When he
Mhm.
drives, you know, like let's say your kid is going to school and he's happy, he's got good grades, but all of a sudden you say, okay, it's time for school, and he's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it today. I think that's like the first sign that things are not going well for your boy or girl at school.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Were you ever scared? Did you ever get into any beefs when you were in high school? Did you ever have any days where you had a hard time getting out of bed because you don't want to meet somebody because someone's picking on you?
I sometimes there's a couple kind of annoying, but I mean, went through it though, but got over it. So, but not too often,
Let's see. You have the faculty.
which
Another
we
movie.
mentioned. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, we get another movie that came out around this. I don't know. I think you mentioned it a little earlier. Urban Legend.
Yes.
That
And
was it.
Danielle Harris even had a role in that. She was the roommate.
That's right. That's right.
Don't turn on the light.
She did a lot of. Didn't she do a lot of those kids? A lot of those kids. Because she got her start in Halloween, right?
Right.
So she did other horror movies when she was younger, didn't she?
The Halloweens. What else did she do when she was younger? I'd have to look at that. I can't think of any offhand.
I'm just trying to think of. And then you have. Let's see what else is there that I can mention about some of the other high school movies that spooked me. Uh, a school age kids getting terrorized. Of course, we can't go throughout this stream without mentioning my movie that scared the shit out of me. Well, a high school kid, or I don't even think he was high school yet. I think he was only like 12 or 13. But of course, he got terrorized to death, and that was Phantasm.
Uh huh.
Uh, Happy Death Day. That's right. That's right. Happy
Yeah,
Death.
they were calling. Yeah, that's right. I can't believe I didn't mention Happy Death Day.
Yeah. Why is it? Don't you have a connection to Death Day?
Yeah, Rob, the babyface killer. Sorry,
Uh,
Rob.
uh, yeah. I, I wonder if they're doing another one. Are they doing another one?
There was talks about doing a third one. They never did. Then there was something about they might do a TV show, but um, nothing that I mean, like I've asked Rob that on the past show and stuff, but nothing like
Well,
official yet.
well, you mentioned the TV show, and I'm thinking, well, what about Chucky? That's another. A horror show set at a school.
Yeah, the
Uh,
second, well, both of them actually, season one
set
and
in
two.
high school and in high school.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
Donnie Darko. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Donnie Darko.
Patrick
There's
Swayze was in that. Even that was funny.
Oh shit! No, really?
And Donnie Darko, yeah, he was the.
Well, they also did Red Dawn too. That was
Mhm.
the horrors of war. Um, Young kids being put into war.
Mhm.
That's a terrorizing thought. You know, that's a pretty horrific thing to think about.
Yep.
Uh, you know, you got a bunch of high school kids that aren't trained or anything else, and they're fighting for their. Now, I haven't seen the remake yet. I like okay. So the first one is sort of to me sort of like Teen Wolf. I mean, I watched it, I liked it. I like Powers Booth, but that movie sort of sort of cheesy.
Right.
I,
Oh,
oh, I know. I'm gonna hear about that now. I'm like, what do you mean? When they're standing around.
Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers 2. The football team and stuff in Jeepers Creepers 2. They're stuck on the bus while the creepers after them.
Great movie, good script.
We
Had a
won't
lot.
mention. We won't mention Reborn.
Yeah, no, God, yeah, that's ew. Uh, well, you know what though? If you're thinking about that, if you're thinking about sets that are just absolutely cursed, you can't go further than Poltergeist. I mean,
Mm.
Poltergeist got totally. Well, Exorcist had what 9 people die on the set of it. And they had 9 deaths related to and The Exorcist,
I think
and I
so.
think
Yeah.
Poltergeist had a lot too. Poltergeist had at least 3 or 4 people that died in connection to that movie. Heather O'Rourke died of an infection, and Dominic Swain got murdered.
Mm.
Dominic Dunn got murdered. Sorry, Dominic Swain, you're still alive. You're still with us. Dominic Dunn got murdered.
What it doesn't have to deal with any school or anything, but you're saying people, dying on sets. The Twilight Zone movie, the guy that got it decapitated from the helicopter blade.
Yep, yep. Vic Morrow losing his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was terrible. I don't, you know what? I know they still made that movie and they still released it with a story in there, but man, oh man, it's like you sort of look at that and you go like, why the hell would you do that? I
Mm.
truly never understood why did they because if I'm not mistaken, they kept that story in the movie.
Yeah, that was the one. I think was it the racist guy or whatever, and he went through Vietnam at one point or something.
They actually kept that story in the movie, and I'm like, why would you do that? I just never understood that. Uh, um, Disturbing behavior, yes, that's the one where they all got crazy, right? Got mad.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was oh, that's for okay. So there's Jamie mentioning Night of the Creeps.
Night of the Creeps.
That was set at a university. That was a lot of fun. I watched that last year. A lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Final Girls. That's a really I'm so glad people know about. That movie has gone from nobody knew about it to now it's a cult film. It's a
Yeah.
cult. It's a cult. It's a no doubt in my mind. It's a cult film.
Hmm.
Um, Everybody talks about it. It's not one of those movies that's underrated anymore. People do talk about it. I'm so glad they do. And then when Dollar Tree came out on a couple of their waves, and there were copies of that movie in Dollar Tree, I saw a lot of people grab it up. They picked it up. That was really cool to see too.
Yeah.
Jamie is on a roll.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes,
Go
you.
ahead. Keep them coming. I mean, there's so many.
Um, yeah. Final Girls. That was a terrific movie.
Oh, speaking of the word final, the final destinations all take place. Some of them, the school trip, the yeah,
Right. Right. Yeah, we can't forget about that. Huh. Which is your favorite Final Destination?
three.
You know, Dan, that's mine too. What's your favorite kill in the Final Destination series?
I think it's the suntan.
Hell, what are this ESP? That's my favorite.
Uh,
Those are
go ahead and plug that. I
you
know
know
you
you,
want
you
to.
do you do know that those two are my favorite screen queens, right?
Yeah.
Shellen and Crystal are they're my favorite screen queens. Um, Shellen has actually been in a lot of Crystal have been in a lot of horror films. Uh, Final Destination 3 definitely rocks.
It does.
Uh, it does have my favorite kill in the series, uh, uh, but only because the way they framed it. Not they framed it because it was funny. I have
Yeah.
to admit that was funny because they go in there, and then the movie the music they picked to tan with was Roller Coaster. You know what? I'm sitting there like half of them they're dying into there and they're playing Roller Coaster for the soundtrack. It's like you don't know whether to go like oh my god.
And isn't that how they avoided their death from the roller coaster?
Yeah, you don't know whether to laugh or like holy shit, or because you're in the imagine being in the theater and you're going like damn, and then all of a sudden they're playing roller coaster. You're going damn, that's funny, and pe- people be looking at you like yeah, I'm gonna be moving away over here. Uh, Definitely. Yeah, Steven mentioned of that we are going to be seeing the return of the lovely Crystal Lowell to the show on May 6th for 8 Questions With. That is on my channel. If you want to go over there and hit the notification button so you can come over and hang out with us, you're more than welcome to. I know Steven will be with us for
Yep.
that show if he's not working.
Yeah.
Jamie mentions the nail gun. Hell yeah. They
The
have
nail.
some awesome kills in that movie. And three has some amazing kills.
Yeah.
They really did. I mean they got really creative for that
Yeah.
shit. Um uh I have to and of course we have to mention, we mentioned Sky High, which is where Mary Elizabeth Winstead got her start. And she's done a lot of horror films too. I mean, a lot more than people realize. She has done she just Sky's not a horror film, but I mean, as far as Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she did Final Destination 3.
Mm-hmm.
She's done the Black Christmas remake.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she did the Black Christmas remake with Crystal Lowell. They reunited for that. Um, let's see, and she also did Death Proof, the
Yeah.
Tarantino movie. I'm trying to think of what else is she. Oh, she did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a true terror. That was a horror film, all right. Yes. Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Wow, that's still. I think that's probably my favorite John Goodman performance. He
Mm-hmm.
was so good in that. He was so good. When he dropped that kid, nobody saw that coming. Nobody did.
Yeah.
Nobody did. I mean, I'm sure. I thought that he was just all bluff. I really did. I think, okay, he's just bluffing. He's bluffing. He's bluffing, and then they let him do that. Uh, and you know what? I'm a Thing prequel. I'm a fan. I thought that movie was fine. I thought it was creepy. I know they had a lot of CGI in it. And a lot of people were like, "That's too much CGI," but I like that. I like the prequel. I thought it was good. Yep, yep. She's a badass. She's definitely a badass. And she married Ewan McGregor, and he did a horror movie that was worldwide. He did a pandemic movie called Perfect Sense,
Mm.
and that movie was really disturbing too. That movie was really disturbing. In fact, I was really surprised he didn't get very much coverage during the pandemic because it affected so many people. And then you see young kids running around being affected by it and whatnot. I was surprised not to see people talk about that movie more, but highly recommend that. Perfect Sense. Um, but yeah, the Final Destination movies were just amazing.
Hmm.
Uh,
They're going to be doing another one on a cruise ship. Is the
oh,
next one?
Jamie says that she didn't know that Mary Elizabeth married her dream man, Ian McGregor. Yes. Yep, Death Proof. Of course, that's when we have to talk about another horror icon on the rise, uh, who's done some fun movies. Um, as far as we're getting away from schools, I guess a little bit, but Zoe Bell was in that one.
Yeah, good old Zoe. She's awesome. She was at a Spooky Empire, so I got to meet her. That was fun.
Why didn't you get an interview?
Well, this was before I started the shows. This was years
Well,
ago.
now you got to go back and fix that.
So, yep, I have to maybe send her a message, see if I can get through. She'd be great to have on. I think I did send her a message. I'll try again. See, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. See, Rob mentioned Death Proof. Yep, that's another great. That's another great movie. I'm trying to think of some other movies with kids in it that are in danger, danger, danger.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
There you go. Lost in Space. Yeah, they always had to face something weird every week.
Well, yeah. So, and didn't the kids learn from the parents? So there we go. They were homeschooled.
There's a lot of good TV shows that did come on there and did feature kids, and they didn't always necessarily buy the farm, but they were either the protagonist or the antagonist. A lot of anthology series were like that. The Outer Limits remake had a lot of stories based with young kids being put in some really horrific positions. Um, you know, Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, not only Cabin in the Woods, but I want to say was it the Witch in the Woods
Mm.
with Angelica Houston?
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, there's high school kids right there.
Oh,
Um,
there were some kids in the first chapter of It. They were at school too at some of the scenes. So,
that's right. Yeah, it part one.
hmm.
The much superior part, by the way. Stand by Me. What about that? That was there's a lot of like Stephen King does. He writes a lot of horror regarding kids.
Hmm.
He likes putting kids in some pretty horrific places.
Yeah.
Whether it be It, whether it be Cujo, whether it be Stand by Me, The Mist. Of
Oh,
course,
the
the
mist.
one.
That ending was the craziest ending.
Um, there's another story that he's done that I heard rumors they were going to do a movie of it. Now I'm hearing we're going to get a remake of The Running Man. Um, if they do that right, if they do The Running Man like they do in the book, people will forget the first one. I guarantee it.
Hmm.
People will forget the first movie. They'll forget the first movie.
Yeah.
If they do the second movie and they do it as Stephen King wrote it, it's so much more terrifying than the Arnold movie. The Arnold movie is just silly. It's just silly.
Yeah.
Let's see,
Ginger
Cherry Falls.
snaps.
Yeah, Ginger Snaps.
And Cherry Falls. Yep.
How about those young kids that end up sabotaging themselves? Dale and Tucker versus Evil. Shit.
I was
That
so
was
hoping they do a sequel of that. That was so funny.
I'm thinking about all these kids and all the. I mean, what's the worst singular death that you've ever seen in any horror film regarding a young person under 21, so to speak?
What are we going to
It's
tell
a,
him, Dale? He dove head first into the wood chipper. uh,
what's the one death that you think about the most when you think about young people 21 or under and they die, whether it be in school or at school or whatever, every school age kid. what do you think has been the worst child death that you've seen on screen?
Oh,
The
hmm.
one that the one that just actually causes you to think about it and to like I'm good. If I don't see that again, I'm good.
That's a tough one.
That's open to you too in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're opening that to the chat right there. I know Kevin and Jamie are been crushing it. Rob's going to be in here.
Yeah.
We want to know. We want to know what. We want to know what your movie is. The one that causes you, like when you see a kid die in it. What's the one that just you just sitting there and go like, hell no.
Hmm. How about you? You think you got
Oh,
one
I
on
got
me?
mine. I got mine. I've had mine ever since I first saw it. It stayed with me ever since.
Hmm. Well, there's not too much of it. It's. I'll never forget though. I mean, it's not like scary. Like it's not like I can't handle it. But one kill that sticks out is the Johnny Depp, the bed, the blood, in Nightmare on Elm Street when it just gets pulled in.
Okay.
That one I always remember that one.
Tina, her dying, the way she died in the first one, that was pretty horrific too. She was, you're watching her die, and you can't do anything about it. She's sitting on the ceiling. I mean,
Like being dragged in the ceiling.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty strong too.
That was the other one I was thinking too. I was like, should I get the blood or Tina? But yeah.
Now I can actually sit there and see people are, okay. The director's cut of Planet Horror. The kid shoots himself in the head.
Mm.
Okay. Kevin, Kevin,
Oh,
is that okay? Okay, that's okay. Hereditary. Yep. Okay.
where with the girl and the guy.
Yeah. Yep. Uh, or the kid getting killed by the mask in Halloween 3. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, Hereditary. Hereditary is very horrific. Very good call. Good call.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the one, because I like this because you know what, I can see them. A pumpkin head.
I always remember the dirt. Yeah.
Well, I love the fact that you guys are having so many. That's what's really cool. That's what's really cool. Sitting there going like, I can't think of anyone. That sort of bothers me when someone says, I can't think of anyone, because that's to me that's desensitized. Like if you don't have any horror movies that actually keep you up at night or have you in the dark at night having you thinking. Let's see, the movie Mother with Jennifer Lawrence. People eating the baby. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I forgot
yeah,
about that. Yeah.
yeah. Now, the only thing I will say about that about that movie was that it was allegorical. It wasn't literal. It was allegorical, but still, it's still very, very effective. Very effective. Good movie. Good movie. Wow, you guys are coming up with some really strong movies. These are movies that stay with you. Not we don't want you just to throw them out there. We're talking about the movies that like, fuck.
Well, and of course, The Exorcist too, when she does the crawl and the spider walk and the head and all that. That's always can't,
You know
always
what?
stuck with
I saw that. I saw that, and I guess maybe because I don't know. Maybe because I sensed that was like, I guess because I sensed that. How did I say it without sounding crazy? But maybe because I sensed it because something like that really could happen. I guess I didn't have. I don't know. Or maybe because it couldn't happen. I don't know. Maybe take it a little take it a little away from me. The bending over backwards down the stairs. I'm just like,
Mm.
could that really happen? I don't know. But yeah, Brightburn scared Jamie. Okay, I've actually heard people mention that. Um, hell, Invincible scared the shit out of me. Man, did you see that? Did
Oh
you
yeah.
see Invincible?
Mm.
Oh shit, that is a banging cartoon. That's a banging series right there.
Invincible. Yeah.
That was not anything I've ever seen before. And I was like, man, we didn't have this when I was a kid.
I mean, they got tearing apart. I mean, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Invincible.
So for me, it was I believe it was Friday the 13th 3. It was with the mom who got killed while she was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
When Jason killed the pregnant mother in Friday the 13th. I had no idea. I had forgotten completely about that. And when I had watched the movie, it didn't impact me because I was so young watching it. But when I watched it when we did our deep dive, yeah, that stayed with me. That really bothered me. It bothers me now. It's like I don't know. It's just that just seemed really inherently evil. You
There
know,
was her reaction to it in this movie was kind of funny, but it was disturbing to see. There was a movie filmed in Florida. A friend of mine played a zombie in it called Automative Transfusion. There was a part where there's this pregnant girl and the zombie ripped out the baby. It had the umbilical cord and started eating the baby out of her. But she was like, it was only funny because she's like, my baby. And I'm like, oh my god! Like it was, her reaction was funny, but looking at the baby was disturbing. So it was a little 2-in-1 moment there. But
see, see, I like Begotten better than Mother. Mother was too much of a one to one. Uh, Black Christmas. Yeah, Black Christmas was yeah, that they had some really that was some really disturbing kills there too.
mhm.
Uh, I dare say though, honestly, in watching Black Christmas, I dare say I do not think for a minute that Margot Kidder was ever sober on set. I think she was fucked up though for the first day to the last day. I think she was drunk. Uh let's see. Yeah, Black Christmas was really disturbing. Yeah. But yeah, that one there just really I don't know what it is. It just you know it had no supernatural elements to it too. It's like it was supernatural or whatever. I don't know why, but it just no because it seemed like it could happen. And
Mhm.
to me, it's like that's what really made it disturbing. Like if they had showed that kill like in Jason X, I don't think it would have affected me as much because it's supernatural, science fictiony or whatever. But because it seemed like it was rooted in reality, it just had that much more impact on me. But that's just how I saw it. Um, all right. How about we switched up a little bit, Stephen, if you don't mind. What do we talk about some of our favorite teen heroes? uh they have gone nose to nose with some evil and walked away from it, or sort of walked away from it, because for every action there is a reaction.
Mhm.
um
Well, we'll go back to Buffy because she's the Slayer,
uh,
so
you
she's
just
the
want
hero.
you just wanted to say that right now before I said it, because
Yes.
I was actually thinking about that.
As soon as
I
you said teen hero, I'm like, yeah, okay, the bastard's not beating me this time. Buffy.
uh Speaking of heroes, there has actually been an actress in Buffy that has actually done quite a few hero aspects of it. Elisha Dusku.
Eliza Dushku, yeah.
She's done the Dollhouse, and she did a really good series that I wish
True
it was
Calling.
True
Ugh.
Calling.
God,
Wow.
that was a great show. And the way they ended it too, they didn't complete it. They left it on the biggest cliffhanger.
You know who was in that show? A lot of people don't realize that he was in that show because he was so good in it, and people just totally slept on him on it. Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, he was the in the more. Yeah, he was amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, he was really, really, really good. Playing a straight role. Everybody sees him as a comedy guy.
but he was good in it. Yeah.
Let's see. Kevin's mentioning Shazam. Yep. Billy Batson. Yep. I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
Mhm.
Um, yep. You had Dick Grayson, Titans, the show
Yeah.
Titans. They're all teenage kids or college kids.
Yep. Hey, I'm gonna steal yours from earlier. Sky High.
Oh, Sky High, of course, of course. Sky, man, it's amazing when you get a movie like that and you think about that and you go like, how many careers did it launch? Like you mentioned High School Musicals,
Mhm.
and I mean, there's a lot of Disney people came out of there. They came out of their, they came out of that series and they became big stars.
Yep.
And I thought so too with Sky High. Michael Agrano, he did Forbidden Kingdom. He's done a lot of movies. Actually, not so much
I,
lately.
at
Lately, he's
first, I
not.
wasn't big on Zach Efron, but actually, as he progressed in the career, he actually did some good movies. So
He
I
really
mean,
is a good actor.
yeah, at first I was kind of like, no, I'm fed up with it, but no, he actually did good after High School Musical. So yeah.
The Lost Boys. Yep. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Zac Efron, and I'll mention another actress too that's done the Spider-Man movies, but they had a singular moment in The Greatest Showman, and that was Zac Efron and Zendaya,
Mm-hmm.
and they were I, it was when they're doing when Rebecca Ferguson was singing "Never Enough," I think it was, and
No, it wasn't Never Enough. It was Change the Stars or whatever when she was
Change the
on the
Stars.
yeah, or
When
something.
they're holding, so you know the scene I'm talking about,
Mhm.
where they're holding hands at first, and he lets go of her hand.
Oh no, you're right. It is in that scene. I thought you were talking about when they were, yeah, singing
That
together.
scene where he first he grabs her hand, and then he lets it go. You know, when the people look at her and she's standing there really proudly, and he lets her hand go, and
Hmm.
you can see her whole face, you can see her whole body just go rigid. Man,
Hmm.
I was just like, that's some great acting. That's some fantastic scene. The Lost Boys, yes, yes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think they are coming back soon.
Yeah,
Um,
they're like doing a movie, and they're like actually younger teens. It looks a little silly. I don't know how I feel about it. I saw the
um,
trailer for it, and I'm like, I don't know.
so here's another high school. Here's some heroes and set in high school too. How can we go through the stream without mentioning Power Rangers?
Of course, Power Rangers.
We got
uh,
to do because they're all in high school. They're all
yeah.
in high school. They're all facing different things in high school, and then they become Power Rangers. And then they become, then they're able to go around and take care of some business. But very fun show.
They're
Um,
actually next. It's either next week, I believe. What's the date today? The 12th, or what's? Yeah, I think next week. They're gonna have Power Rangers Once and Always on Netflix, and they're actually having the original Blue Rangers in it. David hosts Yost or whatever. The Red Ranger is going to be on there. Ashley. So like they got the original Rangers called Once and Always, and Rita is back, but she's like as a robot. And they do like a tribute to Trini, saying like how the Yellow Ranger died. Rita killed Trini, like pushes her off a cliff with her magic or staff or whatever you want to call it, because they showed her daughters like she killed mom, and they have a picture of I forget her name.
is this live action or animated?
No, it's live action. It's the original people. They're coming back. Yeah, if you look up the trailer, Once and Always, and she's going to go back in time before they become Rangers. And they're like, once a Ranger, always a Ranger. I'm like, I actually kind of want to watch this a little bit.
You know,
And
you
they
know you're gonna be watching it first night it comes out.
so yeah.
Uh, yep. See, swim fan. Yes. Swim fan. Erica Christensen. Man, she did an episode of a Law and Order SVU. Uh, 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 blows. It's one of my top 10 favorite ones. It's so freaking good and it's so freaking sad. She's really good actress. I don't know why she never really popped. She's really good.
What has she done
Uh,
lately? I
I
haven't.
don't know. I don't know either. I don't know. I just know I just haven't heard her. I haven't heard her name in a long, long time. Teen Titans. Yes. It's funny. The series, the animated series was the first one, not the new one, because I happen to I like them both. I'll be honest with you. I like them both. Used to drive my buddy Catfish crazy because he says he hated the second one, the one where they're all being silly basically. And I said, it's the same actors doing the voices, right? So it's not like they brought in new people to do the voices. It's the same people, but he hated it. But that first series they did, man, that was deep. That's a much deeper series than you see for typical animation. Same thing with Static Shock.
Mhm.
Very very advanced for its time.
I'd like to see a
Uh,
live action Static Shock if
Me
it's done
too.
well.
Me too. You know what? But it's James Gunn's house, DC, and I have no hope for that. I have
Mm.
no hope for that. I just, I just no. I just have no faith that he's going to be able to do anything at all to change it around. I think he blew it. He should have kept. He should have kept Wonder Woman. He should have got. He should have told Patty Jenkins that you could direct it, but you cannot write it. But you definitely could direct it. He should have kept Aquaman, and he should have kept Shazam, and he should have kept Black Adam. But he needed to go there and tell The Rock about who Black Adam really is. Dwayne Johnson was just he was overreaching. He was too ambitious in the character. He wants to fight Superman. It's like, dude, it's not Superman and Black Adam. They're not. That's not the fight you really want to see. Uh, Everybody wants to see Shazam and Black Adam. Uh, yeah,
Kick Ass was a good one.
yeah. Yeah. Uh, what are some of the better actors that have come out of those movies? It seems like it seems like. Do you think kids are launched better being in a horror movie as a victim, or maybe a superhero movie as a star? What do you think that launches better? A superhero movie or a horror movie? Whose stars launched higher if you do a movie?
Probably maybe a superhero. I mean, I would think. I mean, but there might be some horror ones that's a 50-50 to me.
You
Oh,
think about Nev Campbell. She got her start in horror. Jenna Ortega got her start in horror.
not
Uh,
really. No, she was in was it Disney or Nickelodeon? She was in something prior to that, so she wasn't. Yeah.
yeah, but she wasn't like a Miley Cyrus or a or Zac Efron or anything like that. Uh, uh, she's
But yeah, she really blew up more in Scream after that.
then Wednesday, of course.
Wednesday, yeah. Oh, how can we not mention Wednesday in schools? There we go. Like, come on.
Yeah, I thought they did a nice job with that. They did a nice blend of both a comedy and a drama for Wednesday, from what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I personally thought Gwendolyn Christie absolutely looked lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that's the first time she said that was the first time in any movie that she's done and any show that she's done with, it was the first time that she was allowed to put makeup on. Her character had was allowed to be made up.
Well, definitely not on Game of Thrones. We know how that
No.
was.
Oh man, I love her. I love her character there. Game of Thrones is another show that featured a lot of young kids in the horrific areas. You had the Stark kids that were Braun was he was
thrown out,
yeah,
thrown
thrown
out
out
the
the window.
window.
Joffrey, oh man, Joffrey, whew,
I hated him.
man, I think so. You know what he made who was the kid in Harry Potter?
Oh,
Uh, uh
Draco.
Drake, man, man, Draco looked like a little bitch compared to Joffrey. Holy shit. Um, I was just trying to think of the most nastiest and I'm going like, I don't know if I can think of one worse than him. I think he was pretty much top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Uh, and you know what though? But hats off to him. Hats off to him. Hats off to that young man who played Joffrey. Uh, I hope that he gets a fair and honest chance to have a career.
Mm-hmm.
So because someone said that to him, they said that after this show, you're gonna have a really hard time. And to me, it's like, wow, it should be the opposite. Because if he's eliciting that kind of reaction, if this character is that much in everybody's mind,
Yeah.
yeah, then he did his job. He did it.
We were meant to hate him. I mean,
Right. He was, yeah. Um, so I hope he gets another chance. I hope he does. I hope it's not just a one time thing for him. That would be a real shame. Uh, let's see. Of course, all the younger people um, in the show. Who was the guy who played Jon Snow? I got his name.
Oh, Kit Harington.
I knew you knew you know all these. Are you a big Game of Thrones guy?
I didn't like the last how it ended, but it's been a while since I watched it. But I watched them all, so yeah.
I just hated it for. I hated how I hated that the script the store the store the
The story.
the showrunners always got the heat for that because it wasn't their fault.
Mhm.
It really wasn't their fault. It never was their fault. You tell this to people and they're surprised, but it's like in the 9 years, people forget that too. The 9 years that show was on the air. George Martin completed 1.5 books in 9 years. Sort of hard to and the thing about it is though, it's like you can't sit there and wait for him. He's still writing the last book. He's still writing it.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones has been off the air what 3 years now? I think three years, maybe 4 years, and he still has not finished the last book. And it's pride. It's all it is just friends, really good friends that could come in there and help him finish out his book. They know him, they know his story. He could have them come over and help them flesh out the book, and
Right.
he didn't do that. And before anybody says, well, why would he do that? Because he's already done it with the other series. He's done it before. He's been an editor on many book anthologies, so he has good writer friends who know his world. He should have allowed them to come in and helped him write the finish. Helped him, when he realized that he was having trouble. Especially when they took the year off between season 7 and season 8, the last season, they took a whole year off
Yeah.
to give him a chance to write the damn book. But the thing is, though, like you go back there and it's like all your characters, they're aging out of their roles. That's the problem,
Yeah.
And we saw that in the next to last season where Natalie Dormer, here she is, she's playing. She's supposed to be playing I think Marjorie is supposed to be like 19, and the boy is supposed to be like 12, something like that. And yet here they are, they're casting Natalie Dormer, who's close to 40, or she's 36 in that role, and that's what they casted her because
Mm.
they didn't know, they couldn't find anybody to fit the role. The person who was there before, I think she aged out, or I think she couldn't do it anymore.
Mm.
There's actors that were, you can't hold them underneath contract, while you're figuring out where your story's going.
Yeah.
They have careers they need to do too. It's like you can only hold them for so long, and so I felt really bad for them. I thought they got a bum steer. Um, yeah, okay. But it's one good thing about that Game of Thrones though. I didn't see any of those kids go to school.
Yeah. No, they
I mean,
didn't.
I don't know if we can count these guys because there's no school.
But didn't they? What was it? They had to learn from those books or something. Who was it? What season? There was something where they were going over. So they're learning something, but it's not really a school. They're just. But
School of Hard Knocks,
yeah.
Last Chance University. All right. What other horror school or teenage movies that are. There's so many now. I
Well,
mean,
we got the parody of Scream Scary Movie, of course.
oh my gosh, yes, yeah, we could get that. Oh, yeah.
Gotta mention
Uh,
that.
oh yeah. Do you think it's true? I think it's true to say that the biggest kid in the last 10 years of his life was Leslie Nielsen. That's the guy who did who's the doctor in Airplane. I think he regressed. I think his given age was like 83 or 84 when he passed away, but I
Mm.
really think he was more like 14 or 15.
Mm.
His last 10 years, he has so much fun. He has so much fun in his career. He was a big kid. Let's see. Let's see. I might have to cheat here a little bit because I'm trying to remember. Oh, yes, yes, yes. There is another movie. There is another movie that really got me. It sort of frustrated me though. I'll tell you, it frustrated me, but it was still a great movie, and it was set at the university. Um, and that was a Climax. by Gaspar Noé. Um, that was interesting. Um, all college students, all dancers. It's a very weird movie filmed. Sabrina the Teenage Witch uh, had a guy with a bald spot playing a teenager. You know what? I was too busy. I was too busy looking at Aunt Zelda. Was that what are you talking about? The Netflix series or the comedy series? Because I admit I was looking at Aunt Zelda during the Melissa Joan Hart series. That's the only reason that and Salem, of course.
Salem was hilarious.
Salem was only he and Melissa Joan Hart. They're the only two that were in every episode of that show.
I remember one of the funniest things was she's like, she walks down Salem, she's like, "Are you playing with a ball of yarn?" No, and then they're talking. Then she picks up, and he's like my yarn. She's
Salem was a who was a hoot.
Nick Bakery did the voice.
Yes, he was awesome. He not only did he do the whole series, but he also did the two made for movies, TV movies they did as well.
Yeah,
so he was
where they changed the ants in the TV movie. It was kind of weird, saying they didn't.
I'm like, you know what? If we can't lose Aunt Zelda. I mean, the other one, okay, I'm all right with that. But you can't lose Aunt Zelda. I'm trying to remember who the actor was that had a bald head. Yeah, but that is a case though too, where you see shows like that where they have people playing teenagers and you look at them and go like, yeah, no one's gonna believe that for a split second, dude. You're pushing fucking 40 here, you right? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. We mentioned that, Jamie. We definitely mentioned that. Harry Potter was definitely a horror, a lot of horror stories in there. Yes, yeah. That was not a. That was definitely one that got very dark at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely dark. The Goblet of Fire is still my still my favorite movie, and it still has the most heartbreaking moment of the whole series.
Did you hear they are remaking Harry Potter? They're doing it as a series, and each season is going to be based on each book. It's either they're combining it with HBO Max and that they're changing. They're just calling it Max now, and they were talking about the It prequel, but then they said they're also going to do Harry Potter, but each season will be on one book.
I gotta admit, I'm surprised that J.K. Rowling agreed to that. I really am. I truly am surprised with the fact that she got so much heat for nothing, and Warner Brothers really never stepped up at all to really defend her. Everybody wants to make her work theirs and make it her narrative their narrative, and it's like it's hers. It's only hers. Mm-hmm. However she wants to show it, however she wants to explain it, it's up to her. It's her story. I have not seen. I have to go back and read some of those. I want to go back and read some of those books. I have not. Are they? So she went. Did she go straight horror then, Kevin?
Oh, I haven't read anything besides Harry Potter that she's written.
Yeah, no, I haven't either. I know I got the miniseries Vacancy. I got that. She wrote a book called Vacancy, I believe. Yeah, I don't really see us. I don't see. I don't see a reason. I don't know. I don't think we need to see Harry Potter done again. You know what I'd like to see. You know what it is though, but I think the reason why they have to redo that is because I think she told them that no, she's not going to give them any future rights. Because I think they wanted to carry on the story. I think they wanted the story to move forward, but I think she said no. Let's see. Oh, okay. So you got a bunch of VHS tapes. Wow. Hopefully you got a cleaner. What was your first VHS tape you bought, Steven?
Let's see. I remember E.T., probably some Disney ones.
Of course.
Um, oh, Ninja Turtles, the movie. And I remember actually when Ninja Turtles came out, my mom and I were the only ones in the theater when we went. No one else was there when I saw the first movie in the theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How many times has that happened to you guys where you've gone to the theater and there's absolutely nobody there?
I think in my life it's maybe happened 3 times.
I mean,
I mean,
you're talking like less than 10 people inside of a theater where you walked in there. There's or less than 5 people.
it's
I cannot
rare.
I cannot tell you how many times I've done that. Uh, there was one theater we had a United Artists Theater down in San Jose, and but they weren't allowed to show any of the big movies because there's another theater chain that had the rights, and so they were putting up all these secondary movies, and so it was a beautiful theater, but nobody showed up. Parking was hard to get, and the movies were really second there's second line. I
Well,
can't.
actually,
I would go in there a lot toward the end there. Toward the end, they were giving me tickets.
actually, I take that back. There were probably more times, like sometimes at like the Dollar Theater and stuff, and like once movies moved and everybody's already seen them, there might have been a couple people. But I mean, a lot of times though, probably got packed theaters. But I know I saw with a friend from high school. Um, well, I think what we wanted to sneak. Well, we wanted to see what was it? Cabin Fever. I remember we were trying to get the the younger sister in, and we ended up seeing something else, but we were the only ones in that movie. Um, and then
Your chat is on fire again, Steven. I gotta interrupt you to say that this chat is on fire tonight, just like
yeah, it is.
like last week, man. I really appreciate that, man.
Mhm.
It's a lot of fun seeing people come on out and being engaged.
Sharing all their topics and favorite stuff, and yeah,
Hmm.
everything's been.
Hmm. Um, let's see. Jamie mentions she often watches movies, and the theater doesn't have very many people in it. I live in a little hick town, though. See, I lived in San Jose, and San Jose was a big metropolitan. But like I said, the theater they built a brand new theater. It was beautiful, state of the art, everything. It was beautiful. I think it had like 8 screens, maybe 12 screens. It was great. But then they couldn't get the movies. They couldn't get the movies to come down there. So they were selling, all the big movies were being played at the Centuries, but I lived down there. I was walking distance, and so whenever we didn't have a show on tonight on at Marsugi's, I would just walk on down there and watch a movie. And it got to be toward the end there that when I would walk in there, they just give me a ticket. I'm like, because they know that I would always go to the snack bar and I get a soda and a popcorn.
Well, that's how the
And,
theaters make their money anyway, is the concession.
well, I mean, I can't tell you how many movies came out that they would premiere, coming out this Friday, and you get there and you go there and watch it. And man, there'd be like less than 10, 15 people in there.
Mm.
I saw Spawn there in front of like with 20 people. I saw Blade there with maybe like another. Was it Blade I saw there? No, I think it was Spawn. I think I saw Blade as the Century, but I did see Spawn there. It was like 20 people, and I saw a bunch of others lower budget action movies there. For the most part, all the time, it was like me and maybe like 8 or 9 people. It was sad.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I got here to Michigan, and then I go to the AMC 20, and that happened too. Like I would go to the matinee show, and so I would always go to Taco Bell first, grab snacks, go back to the theater, and then go in. And I remember once I was going to go see a movie called Spartan, and I was like, I'm so used to this. I'm so used to going inside and there's nobody being in there. So I walk in, there's nobody there. There's staff there. I could hear the movies being played, and they had the doors open, meaning there was nobody in the theater. And I
Mm.
go in there, open the door for Spartan. That son of a bitch was packed. It was sold out. It was sold out. I didn't know that I had got one of the last tickets. and this is like there's this packed. I had to go all the way to the front, and then I'm sitting there watching everybody there, and we're like, okay, I have my food here, I can't eat my food, because now there's everybody here. So I had to wait till the movie got started. Then I'm just crinkling my food, making sure nobody's watching me,
Yep. I hate the very very front row because then you got to like look up with your neck. It's like, you just
Yeah,
like
I was frustrated. I was like, okay, it was a great movie though. Highly recommend that. Spartan is awesome. David Mamet. Kevin says he saw Blade and Spawn both on opening night. I saw Spawn on opening night. I didn't see Blade till later on. Blade was such a badass. So
yes. Well, they're supposed to be doing Blades, or I mean Blade. I'm sorry, Wesley Snipes. He's supposed to be playing Dracula in like a remake of Blade. I heard.
I wish they'd bring him back as Blade.
So
he still could do it.
yeah.
Heartbroken that Michael J. White will never get a chance to do Spawn again, thanks to Todd McFarlane dragging his ass. I mean, it's like I don't know. Todd McFarlane just he's just a weird duck. So what's your guest on tonight next week, Stephen? Who's your guest next week? Victoria, right?
Yes, Victoria Page. She's in Cabin 139. Let me see. I put her in my list of movies that I'm going to be watching. They're on Tubi if anyone wants to check them out before next week.
Are you going to put that in the description box? Some of the movies that you could,
Yes, I shall. Camp 139. A man called what was it here? Nereus, at Nereus, a man called Nereus, I guess. I don't know. But that one might be good. It says with a mob, FBI, and terrorists chasing that guy, and Keith must wave through a world of madness and get to old Mexico, where Nereus, however you say his name, he answers his past. And then she's in one called Death by VHS. That one's on Tubi, as well as Salvation USA.
Nice.
So
all right.
Any of those movies on Tubi you can check out. There's some other ones that I'll look up later.
She's not a Polonia pal though, right?
No, she's not a Polonia pal. No. He hasn't joined that cult yet.
Oh wow, yeah, but you have.
Officially, I have. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, when are you going to be leaving to go down to film?
I'm leaving June 20th. It's going to take a couple days to get there on the bus. There's no close airport, but we'll be shooting 4 days, and I'll be doing all 4 days since I'm one of the main cast. So.
No prop plane for you then, right? No propeller plane for you.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
And it's a 2-day trip there and a 2-day trip back. And I figured I'd be tired after. So I'm just taking 10 days off from work. So June 20th through June 30th, I'll be gone. So
it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, watching you do some movies. I know John from Doomsday Crypt has been in a few movies. Jamie herself has been in a couple of movies. I know that Christy mentioned she was in she's doing more movies now, and I said, so you're gonna get into acting? Said, I'm not an actress. No, not an actress. No, screen queen maybe, but actress no. Yeah, it seems like if you get it seems like once you launch a podcast, people start coming looking for you for movies.
Yep, and hopefully I'll be doing more after. We'll see how that goes, but I'm sure I will. So.
What else you got going on this week on your channel? I know you got some other stuff going on.
I'm thinking, I don't know if next Friday or the following, but I do want to start a Full Moon Friday. So all full moon movies, start doing reviews on. Anyone who wants to participate in that, I'll get an official date when to pick out movies. But if you want to like get ahead and maybe like review one and then just save it until it's time to post the review. So. That's something I'm going to start up. I figured I'd do that since I had Robin Sidney on. I was like, there's so many full moon movies, so that would be fun to do.
It seems like Full Moon is coming back, though. I I watched Echo's review. He reviewed Sorority Babes in the Bolorama too. Um, yeah, he didn't like it as much as I did. I thought it was charming. I thought it was charming.
Mhm.
Um, he didn't like it as much as I did, but it was sort of cool to see another full moon review go up. Um, it does seem like they are trying to come back a little bit. You know, they're getting away from just the usual evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man. You know, you can only take those things for so far, and then after a while, people just actually turn on it. They just do. You're not making any money on it. You're not making any money on it. They're not going to watch it on streaming. They're just not.
Mhm.
You know, and there's no home release for it. You know, so there's no demand for it. Like I can't, I don't hear anybody ever. I can't remember the last time I heard anybody talk about like, damn, if only that was released on video. You know,
Mhm.
home release. I haven't heard anybody say that about a full moon movie in a very long time.
Yeah. They do
Um,
have, of course, the Full Moon streaming network that you can sign up for. And
yeah,
if you sign up, I forget if it's the year or whatever, you can pick out like 8 movies also. You get free movies for joining it.
that's a good deal. I mean, that's a good deal for them to do. You know, to hook them, you know, hook people in there for the whole year. I think if you know, I think most people they might sign up for a month to see what it's all about. I mean, their category is not that deep. I mean, seriously, their library. I mean, of quality of top good shit. You know, I mean, you can actually go through the full moon category in a month. You
Mhm.
know, if you're looking for the movies that are really good that are worthwhile watching, you can be done in a month. You can be done in a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, yes, if you're a diehard, then again, it's like okay, you're a diehard fan, but again, it's like how many times are you going to go back and really watch full moon streaming with how many movies they have? I think they have what? Isn't their catalog like 300 or less? It's not that
Mi-
much.
Might
I mean,
be
I'm not even sure if it's 300. I don't know. I could be wrong about that.
might
Uh,
be over 300. I'm not sure, but then I know they also do like also a bunch of extra feature stuff on there, and I forget what
the thing
else.
about
But
it is, the thing about Full Moon was they used to be top notch. I mean, they had a lot of stars that were doing their movies.
mhm.
Tim Thomerson, you had Jeffrey Combs,
Helen
Brian
Hunt.
Thompson, Helen
Yeah.
Hunt. You know, there was a lot. Uh, um, yeah, that's what it is. You have to sign up for the full year to take the
And
movie.
yeah,
I think a lot of people do that. They probably do that to get the movies, but they
yeah.
don't want it after that. And you know, uh, yeah, I personally couldn't do it. I mean, 8 movies. It's just I would have a hard time picking 8 movies that would make me care enough to do so.
Yeah. I
Uh,
when I did like some of the Trancers and Head of the Family and I forget what else, but yeah.
was Trancers. Who was it? Was that the character of Jack Death? Was he in Trancers, or was that a different character that Thomason played?
I think it was Trancers. Yeah.
Okay, Trancers was fun. Uh, you know, Dynamic Toys was fun. Puppet Master is fun, of course.
Doll Man.
Doll Man, that's the one I was thinking about. Doll Man. Thomason played uh, Jack Death, and then he also played Doll Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it just got to be really really silly. You know, the Puppet Master series. They went from all being the puppet masters, all went from being anti-fascist to somehow now they're
Anti-Semitism. No, I'm just
yeah
kidding.
yeah now it's just it's gone the other side now. You know, like the Littlest Reich and whatever. It's just like huh what okay. It's just not my cup of tea anymore to watch.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. That's just how I see it. All right, so I'm gonna shut my mouth and let you go on with what else you're doing.
Let's see, you got that. We said Victoria Page, so that's about it so far, I believe. Did we decide what day we're gonna do Jeff Kirkendall week? I know we're gonna do it in July. Was it the first week we were doing it, or what days were
Oh,
we doing that?
I, we could do Jeff Kirkendall week. Why don't we start with July 8th? You can start us off on July 8th. I will do the 9th, and then we will end up on the 15th.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that. Uh, Jeff Kirkendall is a character actor. He actually is the first. Is he not the first person you interviewed on the House of Horrors?
I believe so.
I think he is. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was your first interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he also wrote the movie that I'm in. So,
Yeah, and
so yeah.
I had to be there for that first interview. I think.
Yep. Hey, full circle. First interview, first movie. I mean, hey.
Yeah, yeah.
So
All right. Well, it says here 119 minutes, so I don't know what you want us to do. If you're gonna wrap this up or what.
I guess we can. Yeah, it's been 2 hours right now. So I mean, but yeah, good show. Thanks for everyone who came in and in the chat.
You guys are
Kevin,
great.
Jamie, Rob.
Uh,
I don't have to scroll.
Patricia Brown was in here. Give it up for Patricia.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
Patricia from England. Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
all the way from England. Yep. Hobbs Horror. He Caspered. Hobbs Caspered your show.
Oh, what did he just come in?
Yeah, he was. No, he's been listening to it the whole time.
Oh, okay.
He was just Caspering.
And we're sure of that tonight.
Yes, we are sure that he was Caspering. He was not sleeping like he was last time.
Whoopsie. During the midnight.
I'll be honest with you. I am holding my breath. I am holding my breath.
He says he's been editing as well. So.
See, look at see. I'm holding my breath. I cannot wait to see what the midnight hour next Thursday at 10:15 back in his hands of his original owner, by the way,
Yeah.
co-owner, Hobbs Horror. I'm anxious to see what they have in mind. Now that they got their show back after we kidnapped it.
You got your cat food, or does he still owe it?
No, he still owes me a case of cat food. I'm still holding out for a case of Fancy Feast, but I heard that next Thursday they're going to be back full force and running. Real quick for me, if you don't mind me mentioning this, I have 3 shows. I have 3 shows next week. I have kids. That's right. That's right. Damn it. So I have 3 shows next week, and then I get out of here. I have no, actually I have 4. I think. Do I have 4 again? I don't know. I might have 4 again. No, I have 3. So I have Joseph Grimm, paranormal investigator. Joseph Grimm will be with us on Tuesday the 18th. I have author Jordan S. Keller will be with us on the 19th, and of course I have the famous director Donald Farmer will be here on Thursday the 20th with special co-host Brett Kelly. Brett Kelly, cannot wait. The Ouija Shark himself. We can't wait. And thank you, Stephen, for inviting me on. I had a great time tonight.
I'll have to change the title to School Spirit and take off popping the popcorn, but yeah. So
yeah, I guess Katie will be here. What, in 2 weeks? He said.
Well, she said maybe next week, so maybe she'll be on with me and Victoria. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, so hopefully she'll be better by next week. So yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Watching you and Katie go at it again. You guys were really rocking it last week. I really enjoyed myself, and I got a lot of messages from people mentioning about the new co-host and the new energy into the show. Seemed like there was a lot of life, a lot of inspiration last week, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to be coming down the pike. So, and when you and I talk after the show, I got something to share for you too.
All right.
All right. Hobbs, you're the best, buddy. Thanks for your support.
Yep, appreciate it. And everybody else, thanks again, and see you next week. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Later. Brett says goodbye too.
Brett says goodbye.
And